Picture this. A 10-year-old girl sits in a college lecture hall. She's surrounded by students twice her age. She doesn't just get everything on the chalkboard, she spots the mistake in the problem before the professor even finishes writing it. She charms her teachers. She makes friends like it's nothing. She makes people laugh. She gets people. She does every single thing Sheldon Cooper never learned to do, and honestly, probably never will. So here's the question that keeps bugging me. Why does this girl just vanish? Why don't we ever hear about her again, not in the finale of Young Sheldon, not anywhere across 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory? How does someone with a brain like that just dissolve? I'm talking about Paige Swanson, and I think most people watched her story and still didn't totally clock what was actually happening. They saw bad behavior. They saw her drinking at a party. They saw her steal a truck. And they thought, okay, troubled teen, it happens. But this isn't just a troubled teen thing, this is something way darker. Hey, pull up a seat on Cooper's couch. Let's get into it. When Paige first shows up on the show, she absolutely wrecks Sheldon. Not because she's smarter than him though, I mean, she probably is. It's because she does something he literally cannot compute. She's brilliant and she's normal. At the same time, she walks into the Cooper kitchen and 15 minutes later, she's laughing with Missy, charming Mary, making small talk with George, and Sheldon is standing in the corner like, how does this work? What is happening? And here's what's huge about that first scene. Remember when they meet? Sheldon tries to pull his I'm the smartest person in the room routine, and Paige shuts it down instantly. She's the one who asks him about Lebesgue integrals, and Sheldon has to admit he doesn't know what those are. That detail is massive. Sheldon uses his intelligence like a weapon, like armor. For Paige, it's just part of her. She beats him at math, and a second later, she's living a regular life. That's exactly why she starts off way healthier than him. This is the first huge thing, and it's easy to miss. Paige was better than Sheldon at the stuff that actually matters in life, right from the start. She had a high IQ and a high EQ emotional intelligence. She felt people. She understood them. And that is exactly what destroyed her. Because her parents got divorced, and you're probably thinking, okay, so what? Half of all kids live through their parents getting divorced, but here's the thing, Sheldon also grew up in a messed up family. George Sr. drank, he had career problems, he flirted with other women, Mary was overbearing and suffocating. They screamed at each other. This was nowhere near a perfect home. But Sheldon, he just didn't notice. Seriously. When his parents fought, he shut the door and did physics. His brain wasn't tuned to the frequency of human pain. That sounds like a flaw, and in a lot of ways it is. But when it came to family trauma, it actually saved him. His emotional blindness protected him from the exact thing that swallowed Paige whole. Because when Barry and Linda Swanson went to war with each other, Paige heard every word. She saw every look, she picked up on every hidden meaning, and she did what every smart kid does in this situation. She decided it was her fault, that she, with her crazy brain, her expensive private schools, her special needs, had broken the family. My brain straight up short-circuited when this fully clicked for me. The exact thing that made her a better human than Sheldon, her ability to feel stuff deeply and understand people, got turned into a weapon against herself. And this is where the real shift starts, because what happens next looks like regular teen rebellion on the surface. But it's actually a deliberate, almost strategic act of self-destruction. Paige starts torching her reputation as a genius on purpose. She dyes a streak of her hair pink. She starts shoplifting at the mall body glitter from Hot Topic to be exact. She goes out of her way to say, science is boring. This isn't just, I want to look cool. This is, I want to stop being the person whose brain destroyed my family. She's literally trying to kill the prodigy inside her. Because if she isn't special anymore, then maybe nobody else has to suffer because of her. And you know what's the quietest, most gut-wrenching part of that glitter scene? What happens right after? Missy finds the glitter, dumps it all over herself, and starts dancing in the kitchen. Just dancing, for no reason. Happy. Thoughtless. Not as a genius, not as anyone's hope, just as a fun kid. And for Paige, that matters more than any physics equation. Then comes college, and this is where it gets brutal. Totally off the rails. But look at it a different way. She's not partying. She's not having fun. She's trying to feel something other than pain. Because alcohol does one useful thing, it temporarily shuts off that same sharp emotional intelligence that's been soaking up every bit of negativity around her like a sponge. And then something happens that almost nobody talks about. Paige tries to leave the party with some older guy. And the only thing that stops her is Missy, not Sheldon, who's smart enough to bang on the wall in Morse code for quiet, and that's it. It's Missy, the sister the show has spent years framing as the not smart one who sees the danger instantly. She walks right up to that guy and tells him how old Paige actually is. Done. Conversation over. And here's another thing that's going to blow your mind. Missy, who's been painted as a regular kid in the shadow of a genius for years in this moment, she's the smartest person in the room. Because she has the thing that trauma took from Paige and that Sheldon never had in the first place. A normal, living understanding of people, without any of the baggage. And then the fountain. She sits by the fountain and tells Missy and Sheldon the most honest thing in the whole show. That it's sad being this smart and not having a single friend. No sarcasm, no walls up, just the truth. That was the moment I realized. Paige isn't a villain. Paige is a kid who's drowning and nobody's throwing her a rope. And the last thing we see, the stolen truck. Missy takes her dad's pickup, calls Paige, and Paige says yes without a second thought. They drive to Louisiana. They're trying to make it to Florida. And on the way, Paige says she hates her name. She wants to go by Ginger. She wants to be someone fun, someone alive. It's wild how much is packed into that one name. Ginger isn't just a new name. It's an escape from herself, from the story of the prodigy who never got to just be a kid, from the parents who went to war, from the universities that used her like a marketing tool. She wants to be a mermaid in Florida, actually work as a mermaid, and she tells Missy, "Just don't tell the other mermaids I'm a genius." That's one of the saddest lines in the whole show, because her brain hasn't gone anywhere. When the cop pulls them over and Missy asks how the radar gun works, Paige explains the Doppler effect flawlessly, crisp, perfect, like she's still that 10-year-old girl in the lecture hall. And Missy says to her, "You're a genius like Sheldon, but more fun." And that's the last thing we ever hear about Paige Swanson on screen. Mary Cooper bans Missy from hanging out with her. It's harsh, but it makes sense. The Coopers are protecting their kid. Thing is, nobody's protecting Paige. Her mom picks her up, a mom who's been too busy surviving her own divorce to notice her daughter falling apart. Showrunner Steve Holland said he doesn't think Paige died. He thinks she just went a different way. And that's supposed to be comforting. It's not to me, because a different way isn't an ending. It's just the absence of an ending. And here's what really gets me. She's never mentioned in The Big Bang Theory, not one time, across 12 seasons. A guy with a photographic memory, a guy who remembers every tiny detail from his childhood, never says her name once. Some fans have tried to find her in the show. They came up with this theory about an FBI agent named Angela Page in season 4 of The Big Bang Theory. Like, that's grown-up Paige, who somehow became a federal agent. And honestly, I get why people want to believe it, but it does not work. At all. That episode aired in 2010, 8 years before Paige Swanson even existed as a character. She literally wasn't in the writers' heads yet. And on top of that, Sheldon talks to that agent face to face, and there's zero recognition. Zero. Even for Sheldon, a guy who forgets faces but never forgets an intellectual rival, that would be impossible. So why is he so quiet about her? Here's what I think. Paige is his worst nightmare, and he can't let himself admit it. Admitting she existed means admitting his road to the Nobel Prize wasn't just about being a genius. That without Mary, who fought with his school principals for him. Without George, who put up with his meltdowns. Without Meemaw, who gave him a place to hide. Without this whole loud, messy, loving family, he could have ended up exactly where Paige did, sitting in a cop car in Louisiana, wishing he could be someone else. And that's the real tragedy of Paige Swanson. It's not that she was smart and she failed, it's that she was smart, kind, emotionally tuned in, and she got punished for it. Every single thing that made her a better human than Sheldon made her a more fragile kid. The system that was supposed to hold her up, her family, her college, everyone around her used her brain and threw away her soul. And she just vanished. No finale. No answers. If you feel like Paige's story deserved more too, you're not alone. Subscribe to Cooper's Couch. Stories like this one matter way too much to just forget.